All right, welcome to our run of Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide Randomizer. This is an open world randomizer. In the spirit of Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise, start the game with the airship, a couple of characters usually, which you can set during the siege, and then try to complete the game as fast as possible. There are a number of requirements you can have, random or set specifically when you generate this. This is using what the community website calls the standard race settings for flags. So there are always 7 characters and 10 espers required to beat the game, meaning I have to find a total of 7 characters and collect 10 espers. I do not have to kill any of the dragons. You can set all of those to max or nearly max if you want to, or have it in a random range. There are all sorts of flags that are set, and I'll go into more of them when go in. So let's go ahead and get this party started. All right. So here we are. We start with 2 random characters, Setzer and Umaro. That's interesting. Some of the easy flags you can set will set the characters to not be... Ooh, starting with Shock is good. Do not be random, or to not include Umaro and Gogo, or you can set specific characters. You can start with 1 to 4. So most of the standard settings give you 2 characters to start with. And now the game is open world, and for the most part, certain events are unlocked, some are not. Certain things that are like mostly story events you don't get access to. But others are unlocked generally by collecting characters. Now this is a slightly difficult setting to be on. Because of the fact that, or rather, this randomized start, and I should select my characters here. As you can see, I've got a nice little tracker here from Emo Tracker for this game. And I'm going to go ahead and do something. This might not be the smartest thing, but I'm going to go ahead and do it to show it off anyway, some of the settings that are in the game. So one of the things that is generally randomized is the units in the... Excuse me, Mirsama, you can act. The units in the monsters in the boxes are randomized between their various... Yep. That's why we went ahead and saved, because this is likely going to result in death. The presenter is normally in Daryl's tomb in the World of Ruin, but it's a general kind of randomizer. All the enemy formations are generally randomized, all of the bosses, and all the monsters in a box here. So this could have been the Katana Soul, it could have been the base Lobo, it could have been a number of things. It wasn't. It was a presenter, which is a pretty tough enemy, especially considering we have 1 uncontrolled character and our best ability is AoE only. So it's going to be a while before we tackle that. If we can pull it off, we can eventually get a Dragon Claw from it, because the monsters in a box are... One thing that is not randomized is enemy drops. They will always drop the same items. They always have the same steals. Oh, he starts with his own club. Nice. And his snow muffler. This is one of the settings you can have that you can actually equip Umaro. And this is not basic. So, generally... was just a waste of time to check the box, unfortunately. If you're lucky and it's one of the easier ones you can actually get, you can actually defeat, you can sometimes get a free item. Or if you have a party strong enough to take on the boss. Now, unlike your traditional... This is kind of ironic, actually. Unlike your traditional... Say, Free Enterprise is the easiest one to compare to because it's Final Fantasy IV, and it's extremely popular and well-known. In Free Enterprise, the monster stats are all the same as you would expect them to be. Generally, monsters are not randomized, except for bosses, and bosses' stats are set for their particular slot. The difficulty level is set for a particular slot, and I'll actually go ahead and killing. This seems to be fine. Save again, though. But in this, all monsters are randomized in their location. You can change the settings if you want. You can make this close to as vanilla as possible if you really want to. But in the general settings, on most of the general base settings, all the monsters are randomized everywhere. All the bosses are swapped between their slots, and all of the monsters in a box are swapped between slots. And you can add extra complicated things to it to make it sometimes the monsters in a box also appear as bosses in places, ones like Katana Soul, etc. But you also... But just in the generic base, all of the monster formations are randomized, so it's not just formation will have 3 random creatures from anywhere in the world. It will be a collection of mobs that you would encounter as a normal encounter in encounter table elsewhere in the game. These Magroders are slightly ironic because they are actually enemies you would fight in the World of Ruin, Narsh, actually, so, you know, a little bit of that irony action. These guys would normally be encountered in the cave to Figaro in the World of Ruin. In a speedrun, it's really great when Celis is trying to use a smoke bomb to run away, and they hit her with smoke bomb, and so she uses smoke bomb on the enemy. Setzer can use that, I believe. Yep. So one of the things that the game does is it starts you... I'm doing fine, I'll keep going, because Yumaro's base equipment, a Bone Club and Snow Muffler, are actually quite strong. Got all of our Moogles here. So since we didn't get any supremely difficult encounters, this is actually a fine place to grind while we're wandering around. There are 2 different ways to try and get power in the early game. One is to find a good area to grind, and this actually is not a bad place. And since all the characters that join us will be at our default level, all this experience is extremely valuable to us right now. The other thing is just to search for specifically items everywhere you can find items and chests, and just try and find the better equipment and things. But now you see that Yumaro and Gogo will always be Yumaro and Gogo. Gogo is always your Mimic. He has all of the functions of the Mimic that he does in the vanilla game. Yumaro, same thing, is always your Berserker with all of his Berserk abilities. But everybody else, you can either, in some of the easier settings, especially some of the settings they have for new players, the characters will retain their vanilla abilities as well. You can also swap them around as you choose with your flags, but in the normal race settings we've got here, it assigns random abilities. And the abilities in the pool do not just include your base 14 character abilities, but as you can see, Setzer has Shock, which normally is only on General Leo, the short time you get to play with him during the Masa. Now, Leo and Bannon, and Bannon's ability of health is also in the pool, so there's a possibility of getting that, as well as a couple of other abilities that are interesting to see that you wouldn't have on normal characters. But you'd never recruit them because all those kinds of story-based missions are done. Once you recruit characters, they're in the party for good. They'll be on the airship, and you can swap them out at any time by going to the airship and talking to a certain number of people. In addition to... Ooh, Thunder Shield is extremely excellent. Too bad I didn't come here first. I should have 2 Thunder Shield. All right. Set. That one's locked, so we're not even going to bother. And most of the same rules for... You can actually equip the coronet. For now. Most of the same rules apply for the randomizer in the vanilla game with the way equipment functions. None of that is randomized for the most part. With the exceptions are in a race setting like this, the Ultima spell is not available. So there will be no way to... Actually, I could also do it. Yep, I ought to do that anyway. I've only recently actually picked this up myself, but I've been playing it a whole lot, but there's still some things that I need to learn and optimize. So on the World of Balance airship, you still have this free healing spot here, as well as the shop. Shop contents are randomized. One of the things we're going to be on the lookout for is dried meat, because we do need dried meat to complete the belt event. So as you can see by my tracker here, I have a large number of things, including a lot of different weird images by various people's portraits. And now, the way that this game, on the easiest settings, you can set it so there is no character gating, so everything in the world is totally accessible all the time. But almost all of your basic settings, and the most enjoyable ones that I found, is to have this character gating concept. So, as you can see, each character has a different number of icons by them that are color-coded, and these are items that are... These are events, bosses, or dungeons that are accessible only when you get the corresponding character. Some of them are a little bit counterintuitive. For instance, the Yumaro boss by Yumaro's portrait means that we can go to the world of Ruin Narsh, and we can... This is not actually where I want to go. We can go to the world of Ruin Narsh and go into the caves of the mine and fight the Yumaro boss and collect the item that is in the statue, which would normally be the Magicite Terato. Now, you only get one thing there instead of getting both Terato and Yumaro, but that will also net you... But the fact that... So that would be normally where you'd pick up Yumaro. However, in the randomizer, you cannot reach that point until you have Yumaro. Just so that every character has at least one thing that... Excellent. Dried meat. Already collected a lot of gold. That's surprising. Oh, I did actually have a lot of... Let's get a few tents for safety. And some Phoenix Downs for safety. Pardon me for that. Something went wrong with my... Much better. Alright. Oh, Stunner. Stunner is normally the ultimate weapon for Shadow. In the base set of rules, again, you can control this a whole lot. I probably should just stop saying that, but make it known that when you do your settings, you can customize it to an extreme degree of just how much you want stuff randomized. But at the base, everybody can use their default equipment, and they have a small collection of additional weapons that they can equip that they normally wouldn't be able to, which is really useful because otherwise there are a lot of weapons that are specific only to a certain character. They can only use those weapons, and in the randomizer, you could get unlucky enough to never get those weapons if you don't have more spread out Agriatus as well. Wow, okay. You can actually use the Stunner. Agriatus is a really nice dagger, but it is Pearl Elemental, or Holy Elemental, if you will. And so you can't... if you attack bosses who absorb Holy, then you'll only heal them. Although since I have... oh, and now a Genji shield. That's nice. That's probably actually better for Yumaro. Oh, he can't use the Genji shield, though. Alright. There's nothing. This is already open. We don't have to get the clock key. Now, there are monsters here. Now, I can choose not to fight the monsters if I so desire. How powerful is this fireball? Not very. Excellent. Because they start you with 3 Moogle Charms, and you have a setting so that everybody can use the Moogle Charms. So you can essentially use those as a way to turn off encounters that you see in some other randomizer. Since it's already in the game, they decided to just do that instead of having it be a menu setting, which, you know, is fine enough. We are going to be getting a lot of good early experience, and that is not a bad thing. Now, again, I'm not sure if I finished the thought or not, but in this game, everything, even though all the monsters are everywhere, and certain endgame ones, bosses and monsters, will be in general more powerful than others, they do have a level scaling, so that even if we encounter endgame monsters, they are not necessarily going to be impossible to defeat, just very difficult, depending on the setup we have. But every time we get what I guess you could call important checks, which are either characters or espers, the difficulty goes up. And essentially, it's 2 levels that it increases per, so to a maximum of 40, which you may not intuitively know how much that makes a difference, but you'll definitely observe that monsters will be more powerful, and therefore they will give more golden experience, possibly. Not magic points, though. Those are always set. However, there is various booster settings on by default as well. Red cap. That's quite nice. There's 3 to 4 times experience. I think the default for the race is 3 for the race settings. 4 for your more casual or early new player settings. In addition, experience is not divided amongst the party, so that automatically gives you, in this case, an extra double experience. So I'm effectively getting 6 times experience. So it's one of the reasons why grinding is not a bad idea. I'm actually just about capped out, though, so it might be worth it just to save time now. Throw on that Moogle Charm. I don't know that will do me a lot of good. Shock is too, so I'm not going to worry about it. That maybe goggles. Actually, better on. Blindness and evasion are fixed, so it is good to get evasion in this game, not just magic defense. So in the early portion of the game, what you'll want to do is free checks and places where you can easily pick up items. There are some places that have a lot of items in them. I'm going to go ahead and test something which I actually haven't tested before. Now, you can do the Doma Castle battle with the leader event once you pick up Scion. That's the first thing in the Scion slot. And you can also just access the broken down castle to get its item. There are actually quite a few items in here, plus a free heal plate. Oh, a Blizzard Orb. That's kind of nice. Once again, it is a double-edged sword of a item. It gives Umaro the ability to use an ability called Storm that he will sometimes use, randomly of course, because he is a berserker, but that does an AoE ice attack to all enemies. So it's great until he uses it on somebody who is immune to ice, and then suddenly not so great. But it is a pretty interesting little pickup. Tackstar is a very strange name, but that's actually the ultimate throwing weapon in this game. Not quite as powerful as the spoon from FF4, but basically it's your ultimate shuriken. Tabby suit, potentially good. Guardian is actually low quality. For the most part, most of the seeds that I've seen do provide you with a large amount of very good items very early. We already have 2 end game weapons in the Graitus and the Stunner. So something like the Guardian, which is a kind of okay early game weapon, is not exciting to see. Alright, so let's go ahead, and I have a decent enough group of items, I think, and I've gained quite a few levels. So let's go ahead and can wear the tabby suit, and it's actually... Let's go ahead and do some of these checks. All of our checks that these characters have are in the World of Ruin. So we almost are guaranteed to have a character in one of these settings. One of the little dog next to Setzer is actually this spot right here in the Cullingen Cafe. This is where you would pick up Setzer in the World of Ruin. And hey, we have Terra, our 3rd character, joins that easy. Terra is steel and no magic. Okay. But now Terra's in the party. Putting her there just. Let's see what we can do with it. We can equip the Graitus, Genji Shield, Gold Helm. Alright, I'm gonna take that off of you for now to give her the Thunder Shield, though, so she can learn Bolt. Bolt 2, because that might prove useful going forward. So now we have access to a lot of other things, now that Terra is in the... Now I check that to show that I've gotten the thing here. Daryl's Tomb could potentially be dangerous, but we're gonna go ahead and come here. There is a possibly dangerous monster in a box, a possibly dangerous boss fight, but some items as well. And we can always run away after saving if so many of these I get through. We can possibly save it after we can save it, and if things get difficult, we can just run away and come back later. Because getting Terra opens up a lot more. As you can see, she is one of 2 characters that has 5 slots. 5 different possibilities for... and actually, if this wasn't so close right here, it's just really good for routing, which is why I do it. But it probably is a little bit foolish. Thunder Rod's really good, though. Rods are breakable just like in the regular game. You can put settings to make them not available in shops if you want it slightly more difficult, but every rod is breakable. Well, not every rod is breakable. Some of them don't have spells. But all the breakable rods are usable in this game, and they do their respective thing. Bolt 2, Fire 2, and Ice 2 of their respective rods. Gravity Rod, Poison Rod, Pearl Rod. The 3 elementals and the Pearl are the only ones actually useful, but desperate times you could try breaking a Poison Rod, I suppose. Okay, there's a monster in a box here. It could be tough. It could be not tough. There are 3, including the presenter we did before. No, there are 4, actually, including the presenter. And here's one of the others, Aloe Vera, who is probably going to just kill us. Because Aloe Vera is a monster. Very dangerous attacks. Difficult endgame. Doom like that. Luckily, I'm dodging it somehow. Yeah, he uses Doom as a retaliation, which is pretty insane. I should have thrown earrings on him now that I have Bolt 2. I forgot about that. Gemmed is fun. He probably responds to physical attacks with Doom. Nope, magic as well. Missed again. Okay, that time it did. Full potion. Okay. Congratulations. Full potion. And we're all dead. Alright, I'm going to come back here later if I need Tiger Fangs. Because that's what Aloe Vera always gives. Small loss of time, but was worth it to check out. I guess depending. I don't know. Maybe there's some people who have a meta where they never check the chests because it's probably not worth worrying about, but the ones that have monsters in the box at least. Golem sleeps here. Okay, that means we're going to get the Golem. Okay, the Ultros 2 fight. There is a setting you can turn on to give XP from bosses who normally don't have XP, which again helps a whole lot with leveling up. Alright. Not very good spells, but it's an Esper. Strength +2 is also not the best, but it's an Esper. Okay, so that's there. Now we're actually going to go to this place is one of the more difficult anyway because of the Doomgaze fight. Okay. And it's Goddess. Oh my. And she's immune to bolt, so I guess we will shock. It's going to have a lot of hit points. I might be able to steal something really awesome from her, though. The good news is we have 2 Thunder Shields, so 2 of us are actually going to be just fine. I'll get an Excalibur sword from this too, which is quite nice. I think that's actually water-based. Ouch. As you can see, this is, one of the 2 endgame bosses, but okay, that's actually not necessarily super bad for now. He's a zombie as long as he's attacking her. I'm fine with him being a zombie. Okay, whoo! That's gonna be Doomgaze. No XP for Yumaro, but... And now we'll get a reward from this. All of these spots have a reward. It's either a character or an Esper, but since there are only a total of 41 of those and more than 41 checks, the rest have powerful items. So here we got the Magicite Starlet. So that's our second Magicite, which is not bad. Starlet has Meteor times 16. Rain time. Rain is there, right? And times 6, so excellent. Alright, I'm actually going to go back to the World of Balance real quick. Interestingly, I didn't need to, although it was a mixed amount of luck to have found Doomgaze. One of the cool things the randomizer does is it allows you, when you're on the World of Ruin, it gives you a new option to search the skies if you have Setzer that will just unlock Doomgaze for you. Otherwise, all of these icons in the middle are places that give rewards that are do not require any particular character. Mobliz is down here. So Doomgaze, although it's easier with Setzer because you can search the skies, even if we hadn't started with Setzer, if the RNG was the same with where Doomgaze would have been, that's where we would have found Doom. Alright, so there's a ghost here talking to her. That means that we do not get a new character at this location. We're going to get either an Esper or an item. There are often little hints, some of which you can see before you start the fight and some of which you see afterwards. That'll tell you whether... Oh, I should be equipping the Excalibur on Terra. Because Goddess has the same drop, Excalibur, every time. And again, he uses lightning, which we don't care about. Can't use Excalibur? Oh, maybe this wasn't a great idea. Oh, it's actually Fun Baba, though, too. That's quite amusing. I was hoping that since there were 2 characters already, 3 characters, I would only get 2. And unfortunately, I didn't put the Thunder Shield on him, so he was the last person I wanted this to happen to. This can be one of the worst fights in the game if you do it much later on because of guys getting high level. Oh, blast. Yep. Alright, where's my last save? It was back in there, isn't it? I'm often very good about... No, it was right before Mobiliz. Okay, that's good. I am a major compulsive saver, so... Alright, let's go ahead and hit up some other things then, because I'd much rather have characters. So one of the things we can do is, here in Narsh, we can go fight the Welk boss. You always, when you transition worlds, you always end up right above Narsh. We'll go up and see what the Welk is. This gate is shut if Terra is not in your party. Once you've defeated the boss, you can gain access to another item once you complete another event, which I'll explain if we get to it. Tunnel armor. Well, Bolt 2 is good on tunnel armor. Alright, and it was just a Narsh guard, so that means that our reward is not a character, so it's another Magicite, Terato. Warwind again. Whirlwind. For some reason, I see the W wind and I want to call it Warwind, even though it's obviously Whirlwind. Partially that's because of a real-time strategy game that I played a lot as a kid, which is called Warwind. So when I see the W abbreviated, that's just where my head goes. Well, next place we can go and get all sorts of goodies at is down south in the Cave to the Esper world and the Imperial base. Both of these open after you get Terra. Before that, we're going to stop by Albrook. Albrook actually has 5 items in it. Let's see what... Nick. Potion. As emergency healing item. Oh wow. Okay, crystal, poison. Let me double check this Excalibur thing. Yeah, she can use the Excalibur. I wonder why you can't equip it in battle. Force armor. Actually quite good. Not the best physical defense compared to other endgames. Wow, I can buy ice shields if I get enough money. Good to know. Nothing. Earrings. Let's go ahead and give her her ear. I could also do Dragoon Boots and Dragoon. That would actually be strong. Not like the best, but... Although in most cases, Shock is still going to be better from Setzer. If it seems dark, it's because the Albrecht is, because of how they've redone events, Albrecht is essentially always under the shadow of the floating continent. Now, if you talk to these guards, you'll have to fight them, and then they'll actually kick you out of the dungeon, even if you win. But we can still run down here and grab the treasure. As long as you don't talk to them, you're fine. Unlike most other, like, static things, Ribbon is quite nice. Aegis Shield is very nice. Running shoes are... I'm gonna give you that Blizzard to actually be relatively... But unlike, you know, the flames in the house, for instance, you don't automatically fight them by bumping in. Arena Gown is actually... It is barely passable endgame armor. Like, you'd like to have something better, but you'd be satisfied with it. Force armor is kind of the same, actually. It's not as good as it is in vanilla because of the, you know, the having full-on immunity to, or magic evasion being so powerful goes a long way in vanilla. Since it doesn't affect everything here, it isn't quite as good, but it's still pretty strong, and magic is usually the type of attack you need to worry more. You know, and most armors don't provide any evasion at all, let alone magic evasion. Gauntlet is almost useless. I could sell that though. Recoup some money. Alright. This is a recyclable grinding point. Brain pan. Now, is Storm useful? Yes, very. But you can step away and click the switch again, and it will again drop the exact same enemy set on you. Default, it's a single ninja who is not quite as powerful as the one on the floating continent. That's that. And now that gives me Meteor. Now I need some economizers. You go ahead and pull it and learn from these, and then these two characters will set with what I've got so far. All right. As long as I keep my Moogle Charm on, I'm not going to fight anything anymore here. Another Aegis Shield. Ice Shield. Okay, let's go ahead and Ice Shield. Aegis Shield. Oh, you can Thunder Shield. You can Aegis Shield. Not as good unities, but Aegis Shield might be the second best shield in the game overall because it provides pretty good defense and really, really good magic defense. Again, magic defense generally stronger than Genji Shield is technically the best non-paladin shield just by regular defense. Excellent. Fourth character in its realm. Strongest mage. No Kefka fight here. Whoever is here just joins you or they give you what they've got. She has jump. Okay. This is the second seed in a row she's had jump. As you can see, jump is a possibility for just a skill you can get. So you could you can assign that to somebody when you're setting your own seed, and then they have options to change the character portraits and stuff, so you can actually make a character into Kane. If she could use a lance, that would make it even better if we could find a good one. So now we can get rid of the... Give her, like, earrings and ribbon. That'd be beautiful. She can now take Dragon Horn and... I don't know. Doesn't really matter tonight. Alright, now she can equip an Esper, Terato. All of these have stat bonuses at least. So now I feel like this would be a good time to get Fun Baba. I'm going to try something out really quick too, because I, again, like to do this. I like to grind when I get a chance. We have gotten 4 characters now. Sealed Cave. Realm I already cleared. Everything is 14 levels tougher than it was when we started. Or maybe minus 4 of that. 10 levels tougher than so. We do need to make sure we're at least kind of keeping up. That is one of the drawbacks if you don't do a lot of leveling at the beginning and you hit only the so-called free checks, like this one technically is. You can go through it and get the stuff without any fighting at all. But that does have the possibility of leaving increasing the level of the monsters quite a bit without gaining any potential experience yourself, and then you'd have to find a place that's safe to level, which can be difficult. We got pretty lucky in the mines of Narsh up there. That was a pretty darn good place to level with a lot of just really easy encounters, some of which were kind of still higher level. So let's... She has Genji Shield, we need her in Thunder. So hopefully those two will not be thrown out, so they'll absorb Funbaba's Thunder attacks. I only recently discovered just how good jump is as well. Why am I stealing? He probably doesn't have anything. I'm a compulsive stealer. It's low chances of success usually, but I always just want to try and get more stuff if I possibly can. Alright, now it's going to be random. Darn. Was really hoping for not realm. Okay, that isn't too bad. Terra's probably the best one to get rid of, because she wasn't in the best shape. Shock is pretty darn powerful. Although it's a hit-all attack, it does divide its damage when you hit more than one person with it, so it is really good for single target as well. And since it activates instantly, hits all enemies, has non-elemental, it's just a really solid, nice ability to get your hands on. Health is also really good because it's totally free instant healing to the entire party. It falls off in its power. Like, at about this level we're at right now, it does nearly your entire health pool in one go. By the time you're up to about level 50 and at 4,000 hit points, it only does around 1,000. So, you know, it doesn't scale super well. It wasn't designed to be a high-level skill, though, so it kind of makes sense why. But that's a nice one to start with, especially since you could randomly not get any healing spells for a very long time. Now see what our reward is. Let me put them back in the party instantly, which is nice. Magicite Unicorn. 4th Magicite from Baba done. Okay. Unicorn gives Ice 2, which we also get from the shield, so we don't really have to worry about the shield. Quick times 7. Quick is super broken, especially with a jumper. Since I already have Dragon Horn as well, so we're learning that. Alright, did you memorize everything from Golem? Yes, let's go to Unicorn. You started on those. Oh. This is one of the free heals in the game. You really should never pay more than a single gold piece for an inn, because there are so many places in the game you can get free. Always on your ship in the World of Balance. There's beds here. There's a bed in Narsh you can rest for free at. The same bed is available in the regular Mobilis as well. There's actually a free heal in the Empire's capital of all places. Alright, do I want to stick to here? Yeah. Let's go ahead and... I should have gone the other way instead. How many do I have? 36k? Okay, let's give it a shot. Let's start with this one, actually. I haven't wasted quite as much time. So there are not a bunch of nifty things they did in the game. This would normally be where you buy Seraphim or Seraphim. If you want it, just give me 53,000 gold. Okay, so it is a... If you want it, means that it is an item and not a... it is not a Esper. It says glowing stone or something to that effect if it is air anchor. I don't really care about sketch or control. So one of the reasons I saved the game was because if this is no good, I'm going to reload. But I think it's worth checking out, because if it's something like an Illumina, 56,000 is a hefty price. But if it's an Illumina, a Paladin Shield, an Economizer, those are all worth it. Oh, it is a Magicite Palador. Okay, oh, that's right. I am sorry, I made a grave mistake there. So that was definitely worth it. It's always worth it for the Esper. Problematic as that is. The reason he says if you want it is because we're in the world of darkness. If you do it in the world of ruin, I should say. If you do it in the world of balance, it actually, what he says is clues as to whether it's a Esper or not. We'll say glowing stone if it's a glowing stone. or he will say, just this item if it's an item. I can't quite remember what he says exactly. Bad demonstration on my part for that this way, but oh well. So actually, yeah. Oh, and so we did this. So this unlocks, Bowser's house unlocks with getting Realm. Normally, of course, again, this is where you would pick up Realm. Slightly counterintuitive. Oh, Presenter is actually in here as a boss as well, huh? Alright. Well, if we can beat him here, I'm gonna fight him. Stop is... It worked? Okay. Doesn't have anything. Okay, not surprised. Stunner does randomly cast Shock. And it does counter with Lightning. Hit it, which is one of the reasons why I'm not bothering to Shock. Stupid Yamaro. There we go. So now I can go back and get the present. So I'm going to get 2 Dragon Claws. Hero. I can go get the other one from Narsh again. Oh. So I hadn't encountered any yet, but appears that some of the base race settings do include some fights that it normally shouldn't. Such as monster in a box fight. So let's see. Because I am interested in fights, I'm going to go ahead and do these battles. They are not randomized chests, even though they're technically chests. They don't count as chests in the game's system, which is kind of odd, but whatever. But I'm doing this not for the items in them, but grinding. The items are really minor. There's like a little bit of gold, and a couple of them are actually mislabeled. I've never bothered to learn specifically which ones they are. I can't remember, but they're literally like some of these things. They say they're a potion, but they're actually a tonic, or they say they're a remedy and they're only an antidote. Launcher is not good because that's a that a 3/4. A lot of damage health. Okay, so these guys pack a wallop. They were a pretty nice reward, but holy cow. I don't think I'm gonna grind on these guys. I don't have any healing magic yet. I don't have any natural magic use. Except for the Starlit summon. Unfortunately, you can't summon out of combat. Potions I grabbed are now... And all used up. Alright. I need to get some healing. Oh no. I didn't want to step there because it's mostly going to be the same guys. Yeah. That I was afraid of. Nope. No, I don't. I thought I had Starlit on. I don't. I was doing Unicorn, and that's very foolish because we don't have any effects to remove. Unicorn does Esuna to the party. There are places where it can be extremely good, but this is going to be pointless. Plus, it wouldn't have been good to do anyway, because if I started with that, All right. Wow, she has all of them already except for could actually then have him learn Terato. Her learn Uni. Eight defense versus 2 magic defense and 20 magic. Or otherwise, me, that's a clear test rider. Okay. Group hug. Okay, decent enough HP now. Of course, now I could tent and then go back in. Oh well. Shadow, yay, another character. Probably going to replace Umaro. Oh, Gollin. Okay, luckily, right off the bat, that. Okay. Most of your missile type abilities like that are actually HP percentage based rather than actually being set damage, so defense doesn't matter. That particular missile is like 3/4 HP, something of the sort. Excellent. Alright, so that's this fight, that 5th character. He has lore. Okay, that's not bad, actually. Um, 1,000, I that. Have anything worth selling? Oh, titanium, yeah. You don't really need imp equipment. You can sell those. gauntleted. Okay. Now, while I'm here, I want to see if I can get the items. Now, this one should still say quite clear. Glowing stone still available. That means that there are espers for sale, like Zone Seek and Golem in the vanilla game. Chest, nope, so it's going to be an item. Ogre Nyx, that is generally not worth anything. Holy cow, 50,000? It might be cheaper in the world of balance. I should probably do it there. I can't remember if it is or not, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Looking, because I know that there's no item that goes for 50,000 in the world of Ruin. Now, he also has a change party members, so that if you have only 4 characters, you don't have to talk to, and even if you have more than 4 characters, you don't have to go bother searching for a character to talk to on the airship. You can just talk to him to change out the party. So, like, if you start with Go-Go or get him as your 3rd or 4th character, you can go to a single character, whoever you like, so that the Zone Eater only has to eat one. Now, notice that it says Floating Continent now. Floating Continent is unlocked by Shadow. Floating Continent has a number of difficult fights, then 2 boss fights in a row, then an item, then after a long thing, a boss fight, then an item. So it is a gauntlet of things and has some decent rewards. One of the better investments, actually, time-wise. That one's, it's kind of bad because it's 4 for 3. Same with the Imperial Factory, which is Silas's rightmost option. But the Rune Edge, definitely not worth whatever they're selling it for. But that also has 4 bosses available. 4 bosses you have to defeat, and it gives 3 different checks. Some of which can be character. Some of which can be, the rest can be Magicite or items. Now there can be up to 2 espers here, but most of the time, from my experience, you get like 1 esper and 1 rare item. Economizer. Okay, we are buying that. Economizer plus Quick is supremely awesome. Ultima, of course, is the ultimate kill everything spell, and they don't let you use that, but in some ways Quick is a lot better. That way's kind of a text box to do, but it also is less motion. Only every time, it's kind of weird, the auction is every time, only 10,000 gold too. If I get another economizer available for 10k, I'm buying that one too. I can probably sell these for more than 10k. Let's do a, you can make a business out of that. If you're really trying to save time, it's usually not the most efficient thing to do, but I mean, it's the same amount of time. Ring, okay, that isn't. It's the same amount of time investments once you sit down for an auction. So $20,000 for a cure ring, 10,000 for an economizer. Yep, Rando worlds often have no value of money. I have seen both guard rings and pod bracelets in a shop. Now, a guard ring is a pretty cool accessory that just wearing it does auto-safe, as they would say, auto-protect, or safe as they call it in Final Fantasy VI. You wear it, you have safe on having the amount of damage you take from physical attacks. However, a pod bracelet is auto protect and auto shell. It casts both of you on it is the start of battle as long as you're wearing it. It doesn't cast it. I mean, you just have it on you. So it's twice as good. And it was selling in the shop for less than the guard ring one. But normally it's a priceless item. It wouldn't have a... so it's assigned a kind of... one of the randomizer settings is that there are no priceless items that only sell for 1 gold. They all sell for something, so rare items generally get a fairly high cost assigned to them, but it isn't always efficient. Here's our Esper. Choked. My word. This is the expensive one. So probably the economizer was a one-shot replacing Golem, I believe, is the 10k, and Zone Seek is 20. So Chode is replacing Zone Seek. That is usually the case. I'll double check to be sure, but yeah, the auction's about to start. That means that there are no more glowing stones. So bam, 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 that's done. So I need 4 more Espers and 2 more characters in order to take on... Oh, Fire 2, excellent. So I'll have access to all the level 2 spells, which is decent, especially if I get up enough. That's no magic power or speed boosting. A little unfortunate. You can use Dragon Claw, which is nice. Doesn't have very good weapons or armor. Oh, I can equip a Thunder Shield. Doesn't actually good there. The rest of these. Alright, doing Dragon Horn. Let's go ahead and give you the economizers. You can cast spells. Kind of forget stealing so we can get through. We should be fine. I shouldn't worry about stealing. Golem. Okay, still plenty of places to go. Since we're close, I'm going to go ahead and do Zozo. The good news is I know that I can go into the Narsh mines for pretty easy leveling if things get difficult. So I never played much with Quick casually because it's so hard to learn, and I just bothered with other things. I know that it gave multiple turns and stuff, but until I started playing this randomizer and was trying to play fast, I started relying on Quick because I got a really fast Quick Esper, just like I have now, a ×7, and got several economizers, so it's cheap enough. Let's go ahead and try it. Turns out that it's the equivalent of D&D's time stop. It literally freezes the battlefield and no time passes until your character completes 2 actions. So I have tested it with the Dragon Horn double jumping, and it freezes time for that too. Any actions you take, they're all frozen. Elixir. Dead. So if all of your characters are spamming Quick, that is freezing the enemy in place and giving you constant double turns. And normally at 99 MP, it's pretty prohibitive to use, but if you do have Economizer to drop its cost to 1, it's supremely powerful. And that can be a break the game. Similar to other randomizers, especially again, Free Enterprise is a good example. If you're trying to beat this randomizer in a good amount of time or as fast as possible in a race style, you need to find a certain amount of wind conditions and enough power to take on the boss, plus powerful abilities to help you survive, defeat the enemy, and and you have to balance that out with taking as little time as possible to search things. But quick is a very good way to give you a big power spike, especially if you have an economizer with it. 10,000 for an economizer is quite a steep. I have found them in shops before. And some of the easier seeds, you can actually find everything in shops. My very first seed, right at the end of the game, I visited... I was just thinking, trying to figure out if I had a suplex. What lures do I have access to? Only Exploder. Beautiful. Best lore I've ever seen. Okay, fight. But in the shop inside Vector, I went there, and they were selling Paladin Shields and Ragnarok. Ragnarok is the second best sword in the game. It gives 7 magic, like 3 to all other stats, I think. Has the highest attack power. Sometimes casts flare when you hit. Auto crits at a cost of mana. It provides about 30 magic defense and or magic evade and physical evade as well. It's just absolutely insane. The only thing better is Illumina, which is pretty much the same except it's 50 in the evasions, I believe, and 7 to all stats. Oh, Minerva. It's been a while since I've gotten a Minerva. Minerva's really good. Need a snow muffler. Chocobo suit, which is better than the ninja. Okay, go with it. I'll see his tap. Minerva also provides some elemental immunity. That's one of the best things about it. Paladin Shield, of course, provides immunity or life drain for all, either absorption or immunity to all 8 elements. Life 3, excellent. Combined with Wick, I am actually going to be set. I'll only need to get to about level 40-ish. And I have warp spell on anyone. I don't think I do. Yep, no warp. Do I have a warp stone? No. Darn, that makes a long thing out. Pretty much every time in the game you visit Zozo, you only have to ever go through the real town of Zozo once. You know, the small amount you're there for... Did I grab these? Yeah. Small amount you do to get to Mount Zozo to find Cyan again in World of Ruin doesn't count. You know, that's a very small amount inside of Zozo. It's then Mount Zozo, which is still a pretty small dungeon. At least I can skip the middle section. That's about it. Which is kind of important because otherwise you have to go through the guys going up, and that's totally terrible. But it automatically transports you out after talking to Terra. And then the second time when you come back for Terra, after getting Maduin and the other Espers, they actually teleport you in as well, and then back out. So, doubly effective. Alright, I think I'm going to go back to Narsh and do... Yeah, especially since I have characters. I have 5 characters, so I'm going to go ahead and do First of all, this box, and then Kefka at Narsh. That kind of renders the fact that I went to kill before moot. Monster in the box, and then Kefka at Narsh. I was saying that wrong. General. Got everything, so Absorb Bolt probably does. Yes, he does. Unfortunate. He is really a big version of Welk, so I should have expected that. That was good, though. Oh, he absorbs ice as well. Okay. Come on. All right. Shell isn't that great of a spell, though I can use Quick to put it on the party much more quickly. Alright, so the Kefka at Narsh event, you can see probably the Shadow of Kefka there in the middle black section. There are no requirements to unlocking it, you just have to go do it. You can also check beforehand if it's worth it, depending. It's usually really hard to do early because you do have to split into 2 parties, so if you have only 2 characters, you have to stick 1 in each party, so you're soloing whoever the boss is. Last time I was trying it immediately out of the gate, it was Guardian, so I couldn't beat it with the low-level characters and wasted like half an hour trying and fighting the soldiers. You can farm the soldiers here for XP if you want to. Okay, it's a merchant, so it's not going to be a character, but if it's a character, you can get a character as a reward from it. If it's a character, it'll be the character right there. I'm going to go ahead and make an attempt at fighting. Whoops. I need to get better with my menuing. We're going to see if they make good experience, because I'm doing pretty well, but I really do want to have at least 15 more levels on my characters for the most part going forward, so... Yeah, they're going to be responding with a lot of quarters stuff. That's what they do. So, no, I do not want to try farming these guys. The one thing I don't have that I really need is some healing spells. Great levels, but And life 3 is it when it comes to healings type spells, really. And remedy at least, but I'm gonna have to farm up a lot of money and buy a lot of X potions. I have 4 X potions. I've run out of most of my other healing supplies. Hate to do that, but that's what I need. Bombs, much too easy to act. Not really worth much. There are 2 possibilities for not quite default. They're not bad, although they don't give any... Oh my, this was a bad choice. Alright, now it's making me wish I didn't sell that ring, too. At least I can avoid him if I die. Makes me wish I'd kept the memento ring. I could equip it on Shadow or Realm and they're immune to death attacks. Don't need to worry about hit points because all he does is doom. Alright. Well, now I have Tiger Fangs. Yeah, bomb. Yay, an Ultros. I wasn't punished for not doing much with my character. It's probably Ultros 3. Nope, Ultros 4. Good news is, even if he kills one of us, it doesn't matter because we get no rewards. He sneezes you out, but we'll get the finishing the event reward. Zone Seek. Magicite, so now I'm only 2 away. Part of me is wondering if it would be worth it to try and use the mine to grind up to level 40 with these characters before going on. Let's click Kefka. Let me check how much experience they give at this point, now that I've leveled up more than 20 levels. Because they were giving decent experience before anyway, so likely they'll still give pretty good experience. That's what I'm banking on. I know that they're all not terrible things that I should be able to kill relatively easily. Through. Between shock and fire all. Okay, these are the weak ones. They're worth nothing. I should use fire, it's faster. Still not bad experience. Don't seek break, cure ×1. Okay, yeah, let's at least teach people cure ×1. Mag rotors. Him being last is great because fortunately he can't kill 3 of them in one, but a 1 mana fire with 4,000 experience. Yeah, that's some. Only 4,000 gold, which isn't a whole lot. 7,000 for the other group. It balances out. Yeah, that group's worth quite a bit. Alright, whatever. I don't really need Demi, but I'm just learning them all because I'm kind of grinding anyway. Wasting a little bit of time grinding, checking all this stuff, but I played a lot of randomizers, but I've never been much in the way of really competitive racing, so I'm still kind of new to that scene. Oh yeah, you're done with Alexander. Chote. Too few magic points. I'm not going to teach everybody Cure. Once Terra learns Cure, I think I'm going to call that good for now. Because I'll still gain some experience getting the last 4 checks that I need. Because I will have to fight some bosses. Hopefully one of the last 2 Espers I get will have Cure 2 or Cure. Wow, Fire 3. Good thing I'm immune. Ice Shield, I believe. Absorb Ice, immune to fire. Okay, that was Cure for her, right? She's on. Thought she was leveling up a little faster. Rando, you're still. Yoda's still. Okay, I need 20 more for that. I'm not doing too bad. It'll be 15. It's 5 total, so it'll be 15. Clarify. In my experience so far, because the encounters are randomized along the table, you have a really good chance of having some extremely difficult fights, such as retainers or outriders or veterans from powerful enemies from Kefka's Tower, evil Oscars and great behemoths, all in the collection of a particular area. So having guys who are pretty much guaranteed to die from 1 shock and a 1 mana Fire 2, even at this level, is actually quite nice to spot to grind. And we're just about at the point. The biggest problem is, and the one thing I'm missing out on, is that I don't have any magic power improvement. Esper. If I had some of those, they would be a significant. And again, one of the cool things about this is that you can set a number of different flags do things. If you don't like the idea of leveling up with Espers, you could, but you want your characters to have pretty darn good stats. Without worrying about that, you can actually set their stats to be a higher percentage of what they are, and then remove all stat growth from Espers. That's that. Okay, learn. Strength plus. Ender. Done with. Do the next heal. Still waiting on the same. Right. The only thing you have. Or when we find more. Okay, back to Moogle Charm. I also need to find a couple more really good. I still need to find a couple of really good, more really good relics. Weapons are pretty okay. Speaking of which, I wanted to double check those too. You can Tiger Fang. Then is that better? Technically, yeah, for at least for attack. Those are both holy too, so it doesn't matter. Kind of thinking of grabbing the claw with Setzer instead. That's fine. I can get him on the stunner. I wouldn't say no to things like Illumina or Paladin Shield if I got my hands on them. Let's go ahead and start with a free one. When you have Shadow, it unlocks what normally would be Shadow finding here coming from Sabin's quest. Instead, it is item, Magicite Bahamut. What have you? Not much. Some more of those, so I'm all set on them. Those are good to the 5th. Okay, still no healing items though. I need to find real good healing items or healing spell. Oh, Magicite Bahamut. Setzer is done, so Bahamut is Fire 3. Okay, I'm going to have Fire 3 and it's pretty easy to learn. That's nice. So that's my 9th Esper. Now I can get... That's a fight, that's a fight. And that is a fight as well, though. Let's do the river first, which actually will be some more grinding. About it. I don't think I've visited here yet, so... I can also get a free heal here and visit another shop. Now, you can't do the Genji Glove Gauntlet event because that's a story-based event. Another Thunder Shield. That'll have uses at least. Nutkin's suit is actually really solid. Shadow can use that. Shadow has the worst armor. Go close. Nutkin gives him more speed and magic power, which is the most important stat. Or not likely to get any good lore. If I get lucky, I might get Clean Sweep or Big Grand Train somewhere. Oh, whoops. Not ready to leave yet. Started. Interestingly, although Terra wakes up in this bed after a sudden break that they just force on you in the event, you can actually use that bed to sleep in, but you can get a free heal here. And you can sell me items. Shuriken, I don't have a thrower. Let's get some more of those. I can buy elixirs. I already have 7. At only 19,000, that isn't much. So that might actually be enough to get me through quite a bit, since I have no strong healing. Let's go ahead and save just in case, since I'm neurotic. So overall, the checks assigned to each character, with character gating is this option. You can have it totally open. Has some interesting things about it. It's an interesting mixture of places where you would actually encounter that character or events what you would do with that character. For Shadows, they are all the places you pick him up, essentially. Not all of them. They're all places that you can essentially pick him up, to a degree. There's nothing in the Coliseum, for instance. They just took that straight out. Wow. This is why I saved. I think. I'm gonna golem. I'm not quite sure how strong the Doom Dragon is. It's a pretty rare enemy, I know that. I have no idea what elements are good on it. Fallen one, that's a good start. Okay. Wow. Get me through here. Fire seemed to work fine. Time free. Okay, let's go ahead and earthen wall again. I might kill him before he gets off anything, but I'd rather be safe. I can also just Phoenix down up, but I'd still rather. Alright, and you can actually meteor, which is probably more effective, even against only one target. Yikes. Some of us will survive. Right, but Shadow, in fact. Okay, so Shadow probably isn't going to get the XP from this. Oh well. Where on earth is Realm? Hasn't she dropped yet? I should have used a Phoenix down, but I was expecting him to die anyway. Okay, now I can just tent them. Fortunately, Shadow missed out on some XP and MP, but not a huge. Golem is done, Shoat. Those two. Not, so a couple people are missing out regardless, unfortunately. Learning Kieran didn't fill in. You're at 100 though, so you. Rando's 100. Now you can fire 3, which. Now I should save, so I don't have to do that again. In case one of these dragons takes me out. Good, just red. if you have a good collection of enemies, not the Doom Dragon, you can try grinding on the river, of course. It's always a good place to grind. Go in a circle infinitely, especially if you have some effortless means of hitting all enemies like the shot command. Fire is actually more powerful. Okay, that worked out. Probably should save this elsewhere because this could potentially be a run ending. Give fire 3 now, though. That's going to... let's do Starlit so I can use that to heal in emergencies. Especially before the next. Be at 80 if he hadn't died to... If I'd used... Oh, I can use Life 3 as well. I forgot about that. I can use Quick and Life 3 as a safety strat. That's a big, important thing. Not quite as good as having X Magic, though if you have X Magic combined with... Good, no fights before, so... Ultros. This is a vanilla Ultros then? Either vanilla or it's Ultros 3. It's going to... He has a lot of hit points. I think it's number 3, considering how many hit points he has. Yep, 15 gold would be that. And the way he died, too. Ah, Edgar. Okay, my 6th party member. And that opens up an amount. He has default tools. For once I have default tools, but I don't think I've found any good tools for him, sadly. Okay, I'm going to stick with these 4 for now. Be on the lookout for some tools I need. Then I need him up at some point. Okay, but having him actually... How much money did I get? 45k? That's enough. Has that on. Can I do this really? I can see. So having Edgar unlocks getting King Edgar off his throne, or whatever we have here. Gao, 7th party member. Gao has Sketch and Magic and nothing. Probably Dance. Ouch. He is going to be a borderline useless character even more than before. And I really have to get him some... That's my 7th character. We'll leave this party to go. I should have thought of that. I could. Well, I didn't know that I was going to get a character though, and be. Sprint shoes are pointless. The game default allows you to sprint, and so the sprint shoes actually literally do nothing. I could buy a lot of regular potions, although I don't know that they that good. Debilitator? It's not that useful. Very random. Magicite is on. Assassin Soft. Exceed. No X potion. Still looking for a Cure 2, Cure 3, or other. Okay, so. A couple of options now. I actually have 4, 5, 6 slots open, including another there. I have a dried meat, right? I found one. Okay, yeah, so actually this will work for now. Should be relatively easy. Hope. Let's get you a spell of some. Just in. I might get Doom Dragons. I hope not. Since the Velt tends to have monsters on it that you recently encountered. Oh, excellent. Really wanted that to be it. I have a save here, just in case. You need 3 or less party members to get the character on the Velt, same as regular guys. So not going to be a character. Eva. So that is it. I can actually cure 3 times 16. Excellent. Okay, we are going to be set. I'm going to go back to Narsh. It's a pretty reliable place. So now I can get the few things that really matter. Shame I don't have any more economizers. I'll probably want to... Still nothing with magic power either. Tier 3 and Fire 3 and Quick are the only ones I really care about. But while I'm doing them, I will... Whatever. If I could find an Atma weapon with it. Okay, economizer. Ribbon will actually be good for. We're going to do Hyper Wrist, Dragon Horn, Running Shoe, yes. White Cape, Knight. Does have a lot of HP, so true. Already magic evade, but since it isn't everything, I think I like the stats of that better. Oh, my helmets were better. Good, yeah, this is Blade. Edelos, that's it. Fire 3 needed. Well done. And yes, Shadow always does have his dog. Okay, these guys are much tougher than the ones I've encountered before. They're also worth quite a bit more. Enough to instantly finish Cure 3 and Fire 3 on the 2. Those two. Okay, you have both. He has both. That. Oh, really? Wait, does everyone have Cure 3 except for him? Okay. No, he does not. But he needs Fire 3. Alright, more difficult area, but that's okay, we're getting more speed. Should have done fire 3 instead. Alright, one more fight is all I really care about with this group. Let's give you strength. Start to give that strength so your shock will do. Because it can do a huge amount of damage. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, and life 3, I forgot that we need to make sure that we... 4 spells. Quick. Fear 3, life 3, quick. Bolt 2. Life 3, quick. Quick, he's life 3. Alright, looks like at times 3, that's about 3 battles away. Or if they're all 10. Okay, here's another. Now at least 10 magic points that I learned. Okay. gonna go ahead and do one more relatively easy check. Whoops. Doesn't do a whole lot of good, but whatever. This will give Gao a while I'm by this town, I'm gonna check it. If there's any last minute things, because I have good stuff, but I'm a little bit low. What I would really like. I think that with an economizer with quick, some other things here, the dragon horn, that'll get me far enough, but one of the things this will do is give Gao the dance water rondo, which is one of the best dances. It has 4 attacks, one of which is kind of useless, sadly, but 2 of which are water attacks. Where it's like maybe it's an earth, a water, and a lightning, but all decent, a decent spread of elements. Maybe it isn't technically the best, but it's my favorite. So. Oh, I forgot to. I need got my espers. Had the chance. Pretty darn fast Bahamut summon. Well, it's Pretty big. Okay, they learn from their shields so they can. I have a lot of thunder shields. Have Golem for the strength. Anything because he. Chainsaw. Okay, I have one semi-decent tool. It's actually the first time in quite a while I've gotten tools, so I haven't been on the major lookout for grabbing them. It seems like I find drill and flash and even auto crossbow when I don't care about them. Oh, I just got Sabin. Who has GP Rain and Natural Magic. Okay. Steve. Well, the good news is, from the looks of it, I'm going to have lots of money to G because I don't have any armor to buy. Weapons. Fire rods would be better. Those I don't think are gonna do me. And the ship travels with you. It's always great. Yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit lacking on weapons. All things. Shields, I think I'm actually. If I was really desperate, I could search around to all the shops in the world. Eventually, some of them are going to have something. Yeah, he can't equip. Which actually isn't as good as this. Or he can't equip the next. That is the draw. Tomorrow hits hard. Pick yet. Don't need fire too. That's the hard one. I should have started somebody on that one before. Oh well. Live and learn. This is likely going to be my first sub 3. Maybe not. It might go a little bit over 3, but oh, did you some of those naturally? Stab. Okay, so the only thing he still needs is actually enter for just get some of these other things, I guess. And he unicorn. And a 15 will get that adequately. Probably I'll just. Of course. 1 in 4 chance of getting that, and it doesn't work against a lot of enemies. Okay, there's my first. Oh, you need. Weird. And I'm a little bit hurt, so why not? All right. Yikes. Not gonna hurt tomorrow. Okay, fine. Well, most unfortunate. Good news was it was the guy who was on life 3 survived. It's not going to slow down my life 3. Cyclonic is, I believe, just the equivalent of Whirlwind. So it does like 90% of the HP of everybody. I think it only targets the enemy. That's why it's better than Whirlwind. Sadly, I don't think we get Cyclonic. Except through like maybe some sketch or but I don't think it's regular blue magic. All right. I forgot to pop out things. All right, you're the last one. Apologies for your eyes. That seemed to be the best way to... Actually, I think I have remedy. I have a bunch of remedies. I want to save them. Okay, I really want to finish this before 2:30. Wait. Still learning. Get rest. Now I have him. Luckily. There's more Didalos, I knew it. Quick. One more fight for life. Everybody will have it, so I have that as a fallback safety measure. Excellent. I'll take it. Alright, time to assault Kefka's tower. Save right here just in case. Also, if I decide to go back and finish this later. Okay, my big guns are Terra, Shadow, Realm, Setzer. All right. All right, this party. You're going to be my economizer for now. Maybe my ribbon economy. Run. Oh wait, actually. Bad party for. All right, you're my economizer, Dragonhorn. Let's have you. Wrist. Oh. Give you running shoe. low chance of something actually good being in any of these places, but I'm kind of desperate. I am going to ignore all the optional bosses. They are probably not going to time at the level I am. Probably shouldn't waste time on this item. Onic, yep. Punished. Okay, here's the non-optional boss. Reason why I stuck a powerful party key. Would normally be Inferno with his 2 claws. Atma, okay, he's French vanilla. Oh, dearie my. Okay, so Excalibur is holy and Atma absorbs holy. Okay, good. Well, that's a bit unfortunate. I guess we'll fire you. Not gonna work because he's boss. Why don't you party? Good news is, since I did give you that, I can just... Total of close to 12,000 damage for only mana. Time is not bad. All right, Atma down. Sadly, we won't get anything good for it. Bunch of magic points. I really don't. Lovely. Corsar. By dragon, not gonna bother with you. Yeah, because I put the relic on you. Another ice shield, okay. Now, Atma is the Atma critter in the middle section is... There's a item in that pipe, but it also leads else. How that works? Oh, good. Pod brace. Safe and shell automatic. Marvel shoes would be better, but I'll take a pod brace. First decent item I found in here. He does give some kind of major item as a reward. Could be anything as good as an Illumina or economizer, and as bad as could be as bad as maybe an elemental. There are a couple things. Force armor is at this point, especially. Sabin starting knuckle / claw item. What? Now, if you go left, he is the one who has to fight the extra boss fight. Go right, it's team. He is already equipped for it, and I think my stronger group. Matter how it goes, because of the fact that your first team has to do that, interestingly, the team number 1 always only fights a single enemy throughout the game. Okay, who is in Guardian spot today? Leader? Oh, good. Something nice and easy. And a black belt, which may or may not be kind of useful. Never did find the katana soul. Alright, let's go ahead and get them, and then I can move their equipment now. Some of them. Doom Gaze. Okay, that is good. We're not level 45. That's he's weak to fire, so let's go ahead and do it. $2,300. That's super great. He's also weak to Holy, I believe, so my jumps with this Excalibur should do a lot of damage, actually. Triple jump, nice. That's 9,000 damage. Not as good a damage as I could hope for. I would also do like twice as much damage again if I had a spear. Fortunately, I never found a Pearl Lance or an Aura Lance. And even if I did find it, there's no guarantee Realm could use it. This is a little bit on the slow side, but it is, especially at the levels I'm at, it's such safe, reliable damage. Although my magic power might be enough that fire treat against him would probably do close to the same unless I got a quadruple jump. Oh well. Should have left that on him. Hope I saved it. If I did or not. Let's go with ribbon and economizer, just in case. That means I can always take care of problems. Pod bracelet. Oh, I forgot my Moogle charm. Ghost and puppet. Alright, 62 mana, but I'm just gonna waste the ball real quick. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and, I'm almost there, so... Charge a nuke. Okay, not lost. Now he's mine. $200 mana for this combo for him, since he doesn't have the... Still quite strong, though. Figured that would be close to enough. One boss fight left, and then Kefka, and that's it. I did not save it before. Or maybe I did. Yeah, I think I had. Alright, let's go Moogle Charm with you. Don't need anything else. Safety tent for this group. Okay, and as for you guys, no economize. Got to take her relic. Okay, economize a ribbon. Running shoes. Yeah, the evasion plus the magic powers might that. Genji. Go Aegis. Umaro. Okay. Hilarious. No, you can't stack quick to take infinite turns. Quick counts as a status effect you can only have once, so if you try to cast it while quick is already in effect, it just misses and you waste one of your 2 quicks. Starting with all right, time for final preparation. I save. All right, final save. All right, so I want Realm and Setzer. I don't have much else, so kind of like the idea of you racking Hyperist with the running shoe, having the most attack power. Well, defense, if you're gonna go that, you can definitely go Aegis rather than Genji. Yeah, that'll give you more vigor. Any of these give more vigor as well. Tabby, but I'd lose a lot. We'll keep the snow muffler on him. He's most viable. Actually, no. Let's give him the force armor. She's going to be Dragonhorn. And let's give her Pod Bracelet. Actually, you know what? Let's not give her the running shoe, because I think that she's still going to be my most dependable damage. Don't want Snow Muffler on her either because of that, but Minerva's really good. Yeah. Alright, and then Terra. Who do I want as my 4th, though? Alright, yes, and she is going to be maxed out on defense with those. Give her the... Okay, who's still got the economy? I forget to take off relics again. Yes. No muffler, Aegis shield. Wish I had something magic. That's actually a little bit better than attack power for her. That's what I care about more. All right, assassin. I might actually do... Oh? Yeah, he has slightly more magic power. We'll do him for my third. I don't know what else to do with him anyway, so... Randomizer ribbon. Actually, since I don't have a lot of mana for the last spot, maybe I'll go ahead and have... I picked up a flame shield somewhere. Go ahead and have you do it, Mr. Big Shot. Blizzard Orb. Earrings, because I think that's magical. And you'll just wail on things as the best you can, and Terra is going to be the keeping everybody alive with her quick abilities. Palador. Golem. Those are the only ones I have that are really used. Okay, let's give it a shot. Well, it's not going to be sub 3. But this should be like sub 320. Not the best overall luck, so I'm not super sad. Just a wee little sad. All right, Terra, Realm, Setzer, and Umaro. All right, that one's done. Okay, I don't really have a lot of buffs to use, so I guess... Only 1,000 everything, but it's good and reliable. Going to be really useful against the second phase, I think. Ooh, quadruple. Good thing I bought all those elixirs. Those guys will probably need it. That part isn't weak to fire, but I don't think I have a better spell to use. However, these jumps will, it's vulnerable to holy, it appears, so these jumps will do more to it. Or maybe it just has less defense than the head and more magic defense. He's already in quick. Whoops, that was a waste. Used up all his mana. Yeah, all she has is magic, so... Okay, I don't think I have mute, so... We're a bit out of luck there. And do I have Doom? I don't think I do. Okay. All right. Oh, I do need to throw life 3 on everyone, but I'll wait until the next thing to do that. Go ahead and get a safety cure. And then let's throw out a meteor because there's so many of them. I don't have the mana. Okay, let's go ahead and elixir. That's very unfortunate. Whoops. I forgot to quick, darn it. I wish I knew which one was casting life 3, but now I'll focus on the rest of them. Not having mute is quite a problem. That middle section I know I can doom as well, but one of the middle sections, it's hard to tell exactly which one. I need to study the speedrun more, but doesn't matter right now because I don't have doom. Don't even care. Okay, killed the middle section. Okay, safety top up again, simply because I can. I don't have to spell either, do I? Got that. Too bad. For safety, she has a lot of mana anyway. All right, now the dangerous one. Now I'm going to want to get life 3s on the party as soon as possible, as well as get topped up on hit points. Well, nice thing about that. Okay. I am out of mana, so that's fine. We are going to Phoenix down him. And then Elixir myself. All right. How much magic do I still have? 400? Yeah, I'm fine there. So let's X potion the two of us. All right, now going to cure free myself. And then life 3 myself. Which side do I kill first, the left or the right? I think left. Now, she might absorb holy, in which case I'm in trouble. Yep, okay. That's unfortunate. Actually, that's also holy, I think. Actually, what I ought to just do is break all of these. Okay, she absorbs. That's right. She absorbs just about every element, doesn't she? Um. Okay, I don't think Tiger Fangs is holy elemental, so. Whoops, wrong one. I have one quick left, and then I need to elixir her again. Did I find a mega elixir? I don't remember. I don't think so. I might have found one, though. Haha! Oh, I should have done that second. I do have a mega elixir I found. Excellent. Haha! Life 3 for the win. All right, he's going to almost immediately hit us with Fallen One, which is what the Mega Elixir is good for. Unfortunately, I don't have a huge amount of damage, so yeah, that's what you're going to rely on. Oh wow, got it off immediately, huh? I'm going to wait then. Okay, let's put another life 3 on him. Now, I guess, while waiting, we'll just fire 3 him. Um, okay, fine. I skipped the Fallen One phase somehow. Ooh, a quadruple jump. Nice. God, if only I'd found an Orlance. The 6,000 I'd be pumping out from that, and another triple. She's been good at those. Okay, that is, should have done it a second earlier rather than celebrating. 323.55, not too bad. I do need to work on getting that done quicker, but I didn't really have a lot of luck this seed. I didn't get a lot of good items, or I got quick and that was it and won economizer. If I'd had a little bit more luck with something better offensively, then a lot of the time I wasted was almost certainly on grinding, but it was kind of necessary grinding because of the lack of things. I mean, when a Dragoon jump with Tiger Fang is kind of your best overall offense, I found a decent amount of shields, and they came in clutch at the end. I just need to remember the third stage, that side absorbs almost all elements. I think if I'd found a drill, I would have rather had Edgar for the fourth slot, but oh well. As we approach midnight where I'm at once again, we're not going to be seeing the full ending, but it's in other places, including some of my other videos, so whatever. Thanks for watching this one. I'm going to continue pumping these out in hopes of having a good video to submit to Questing for Glory. So maybe other things later on. Enjoy the rest of your day, night, evening, whatever it is the time you are watching this.